well in a game earlier this morning. Nichols, Ortiz, Kavistad, Cronin, Cordova, Allen, Wolfenden, Keel, and Brasher for South Alabama. Head coach Becky Clark in her 16th season, and historically this has been a very strong member of the Sun Belt Conference.
You know, they won the Sun Belt Conference Championship last year.
What a gorgeous day it is. This has to be the best opening day I can remember for a college softball season, and we've seen a few of them. Right now, 70 degrees. Winds out of the southwest at 7 miles an hour. No chance of rain. The weather looks good for the rest of the weekend as well. And Yvette, rarely, if ever, have we seen shorts and short sleeves on opening day of college softball season. These teams have played 13 times. LSU has an 11-2 record against South Alabama, 11-1 in Baton Rouge, and LSU has won 6 in a row.
And that was the last game played before COVID hit everything and shut everything down in 2020.
Pepper Nichols leads it off and swings on the first pitch and fouls it back into the net. We are underway on a magnificent day to open the college softball season.
I'm very jealous, Lynn. I don't ever remember coaching on opening day in 70-degree weather.
Oh, no, you were bundled up with sweatshirts and coats and scarves like and everything else.
The Michelin Man.
Nichols in the first game was effective at the top of the order. She was 2 for 2. She stands with a slightly open stance, and Sunseri delivers a 1-1 pitch. That one misses a little bit high and away.
Screwball just missing there.
The outfield is pretty much medium depth and a few steps toward the opposite side for Pepper Nichols. That's off the edge, outside, 3-1.
Trying to come back with that same pitch, that screwball on the outside corner, but that one was a little further off than the pitch before.
There's a 5-pitch pass from Sunseri to open the game.
That last one kind of startled Sunseri. She thought she had a strike on that last pitch.
Let's check LSU defensively. There are some newcomers in the starting lineup defensively. Allie Newland in left field is 1. Sierra Briggs moves to center field this year. Mackenzie Redite is in the right field spot. A very, very well-heralded young player. Sydney Peterson and Pleasance are the middle infielders. Shelby Sunseri pitching. Coffee is at third base, and Georgia Clark is at first base.
I'm not sure that wasn't a missed signal there. I think that might have been a hit and run, but runner didn't advance. And yes, this is the first time in 9 years that we do not see an Andrews in center field.
The Andrews sisters, for the better part of a decade, were not only good but sensational in center field.
I don't know, when you make ESPN highlights like 4 and 5 times in one season, I'd say you're doing a pretty good job, but I think they have a capable replacement in Briggs in center field. Beth Torina certainly gushes over her abilities.
It will be interesting to see how these rookies, particularly defensively, are able to stack up. Newland in left field, Rudity in right field, Coffee at third base, getting a shot there, and Sydney Peterson is a heralded, at least in practice, second baseman, a newcomer there, so we'll see how they hold up.
Yep, the MO on her at second base is that she's a tremendous defensive player.
1-1 pitch, dribbled back to the circle. I think that's a foul ball. I believe it made contact with the batter in the batter's box. So we'll do it again.
Yeah, tremendous spin coming off of her foot.
LSU will play a second game tonight. An early chance for Rudity, and she hustles into the corner near the wall and makes the catch. Hustles into the gap, I should say, moving quickly to her right. She is a left-handed right fielder. and got a good jump on that ball.
Nice read there, because I kind of thought maybe off the bat that ball was a gapper, but Rudity, as you said, reads it correctly, turns around, look, a good strong throw to second base.
So 1 on, 1 out. Kvistad lifts this one behind the plate. It's out of the reach of Morgan Cummins. Nichols walked on 5 pitches. Ortiz has fly deep to right center. Kvistad is only 1 home run away from becoming the all-time program leader at South Alabama. And a nice play behind the plate by Cummins, who hustled to her left to get that foul ball.
Very nice play. Gotta get those outs. Those are the outs that'll come back and haunt you if you drop that ball or don't make that play.
So 2 gone now, and Pepper Nichols still at first base. Here's Cronin, the shortstop.
And look at the shift on the Tigers' defense in the outfield.
Cronin was 1 for 3 and had a couple of runs driven in against Central Arkansas. That came in a 7-4 victory earlier today. The outfield is deep, but it plays this cleanup batter to the opposite field. And a big gap in left center field.
Huge gap.
Runner is on the move, and the throw is late and high. And a stolen base for Pepper Nichols. South Alabama will not be hesitant on the base paths. It likes to put runners in motion.
Well, Cummins, and what a great pitch to run on. She bobbles the ball, and then the throw is high. And it tests the Tigers early. And why not?
A runner in scoring position. This ball's hit to Coffey at third. She gobbles it up, makes a strong throw to first base. And the Jaguars are retired, leaving a runner in scoring position. We move to the bottom of the first. Opening day, the 2022 college softball season is... The sky is cloudless over Baton Rouge, and let's take a look at Allie Hewen, the starting pitcher for the second straight game for this South Alabama team.
Her assortment is rise, curve, screw, and change, and her definite go-to big K pitch is that rise ball.
6-4 a year ago, Yvette, with 73 in the third innings. She struck out 32, so not a big strikeout pitcher last year, but she struck out 8 in 4 innings in the start against Central Arkansas.
So a good start for Miss Hewen.
She allowed 3 hits and a run and walked 3 and threw 99 pitches, so she gets the start for the second consecutive game. Briggs and Pleasance and Sunseri for LSU, followed by Clark, Newland, and Coffey, Rudity, Cummins, and Stewart. Briggs is the second leading returning hitter from last year's team.
We gave her a nickname right away.
Spinnerbait.
That's right.
That's the way she plays, defensively and offensively, meaning she is in motion most of the time.
And Beth Torina just has high praise for this young lady that's going to roam center field with her defensive abilities. We really liked her offense last year, but I have a feeling we're going to see some standout plays defensively this year.
Torina was not hesitant in telling us earlier in the week, Yvette, that Briggs, although she's not the same kind of outfielder that the Andrews sisters were, nonetheless, Torina believes Briggs will become just as good defensively as the last 2 center fielders for the Tigers. And if you can even approach that, you've done something.
High praise indeed.
Briggs flies out to Nichols in left to open things, and here's Taylor Pleasance. Taylor Pleasance had a magnificent season a year ago.
Okay, let's do it. Who's going to hit the first home run?
Well, we asked Beth Torina that, and she picked Taylor Pleasance, but 2 other coaches picked other people as well.
I'm going to say Pleasance since she's number 2 in the lineup. She gets the first crack at it.
We've got a vote for Sunseri up here from Randy Hayden, our statistician and researcher.
Well, my vote is because she's at the top of the lineup.
Georgia Clark also was mentioned as one very likely candidate.
Well, you haven't tossed your vote in yet.
I won't until the ball sails over the fence.
I don't think that's how you play the game.
Pleasance can be selective. She's ahead 3-0. Briggs flying to left to open things. We are scoreless opening day in Baton Rouge.
So do I get a mulligan if she walks?
Sure.
Oh, wrong game.
An off-speed pitch on 3-0.
Looks like a good pitch, too, and to throw that at a 3-0 count.
I think that's indicative of the respect you have for the hitter at the plate. Outfield is deep, but it plays Pleasance a bit toward left field. This is lifted to center. Plenty of time for Brasher to come on and get it. 2 fly ball outs to get things started for LSU. Sunseri comes to the plate. South Alabama lines it up like this defensively. Nichols and Brasher and Ortiz patrol the pasture from left to right. Keel and Cronin on the left side of the infield. Wolfenden and Allen on the right side. Kvistad is catching. Shelby Sunseri certainly has the power and the wherewithal to blow one out of the ballpark.
Absolutely, and we talked about her being the senior on the staff, the only one that cannot come back next year. She's out of her eligibility after this, and consequently her teammates call her grandma.
She stands even with the plate, and that pitch divides the dish. South Alabama got a leadoff walk. The runner was stranded at second base as Sunseri retired the next 3. Briggs has flied to left. Pleasance has lifted a ball to center. 2 outs, nobody on base in the LSU half of the first. The Tigers will play Illinois out of the Big Ten in the game following this one. And yes, we will stay with you and bring you game number 2 as well. That's way upstairs.
Both pitchers showing a little, maybe nerves, trying to find the consistent strike zone.
Georgia Clark is on deck, 2 outs. The Tiger Classic coming your way. And Sunseri becomes a base runner.
Ewan kind of just yanking that curveball out of the zone.
So Georgia Clark, who has a sister at LSU, will come to the plate.
To the plate for the Tigers.
Georgia's sister was a soccer player in high school. But not involved in athletics on the collegiate level.
Might be the most powerful Tiger in the lineup.
Over the years, we've seen balls just absolutely explode off the barrel of the bat. Clark waits with a 1-0 count. That one got in a little bit, perhaps on the trademark or even closer to the hands. That's a good pitch if you can keep it there and not allow powerful right-handed batters to fully extend the bat.
Absolutely right. She put it in on her hands. She turned on it, but the only thing she can do is foul that ball off.
This is hit high. It is hit deep. It is way back. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. Georgia Clark starts the season with a 2-run home run, and Mama is here to cheer her on.
I think I said Georgia Clark.
I believe you did.
Georgia.
So
No
a two-out
question.
walk, and then Georgia Clark exhibiting that power you just talked about a bit.
Well, off the bat, I knew it was gone. I was just waiting for you to say kiss it goodbye. She got all of that pitch. And we see the customary oof when she touches home plate.
So the first hit of the season delivers the first 2 runs of the season for LSU. And Allie Newland comes up swinging big, but can't find it.
And Newland will swing big. Not a very statuesque, big ball player, but my gosh, she can swing the stick.
She had 3 homers last year in limited duty. That's a mitt popper, a little bit out of the strike zone. Briggs and Pleasance flied out. Sunseri walked. And Georgia Clark ripped one deep over the center field wall. Two balls and a strike on Allie Newland, the LSU left fielder.
We haven't seen enough changeups from Hewen. We saw that one on a 3-0 count, but she's going to definitely need to mix speeds against this Tiger lineup.
Danica Coffey is on deck. That one drops in for a strike, and it levels the count at 2.
Just threw that pitch at 57 miles an hour.
That's a little bit off the mark.
Had the Jags almost running off the field. They thought it was a strike. Zone's a little tight early on.
Newland hits it very hard, but a little bit foul.
Turned foul right when it was going over the base. It was fair down the line.
The first base umpire was able to turn into a jumping jack and avoid getting hit by that hard ground ball.
Yeah, he couldn't make a call. He's so busy trying to get out of the way.
The 3-2 pitch. Nubbed it back to the circle. Hewen is on it and turns it into an out. But LSU grabs a lead in its first at-bat here in 2022. This towering fly ball deep over the center field wall by Georgia Clark with Sunseri aboard has given the Tigers a 2-0 lead over the Jaguars. With the Yvette Girard clubhouse deck in the background, we bring you back into Tiger Park. LSU on Georgia Clark's 2-run home run has a lead early over South Alabama. There is Becky Clark in her 16th season. She's won 470 games. She's been the Sun Belt Coach of the Year. She's had 4 NCAA regional appearances, including last year in Gainesville, Florida. And this daughter of a preacher and avid fisherwoman has done a really nice job at South Alabama and much respected in the Sun Belt Conference.
Listen to this. Her education, her major's English and a minor in marketing, and then she got her master's in education, so would be a little coaching background there.
Coffey lifts one to the second baseman, who grabs it in front of the bag between the circle and second base. Danica Coffey with an infield pop-up, out number 1. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's, of course, Cordova. And here's Abby Allen. So Odalis Cordova, the designated player, is out on the infield out. Abby Allen, right-handed batter, checks her swing and did commit. Wolfenden will follow. South Alabama and LSU. This is a good opponent for each other. About a 3-hour trip, a little less perhaps, to Mobile. Pleasance retreats onto the grass, makes the grab. And a pair of infield outs. Peterson grabbed the first one, and Pleasance making that catch. Here's Wolfenden. Wolfenden in the first game was 1 for 3. She drove in a run. South Alabama defeated Central Arkansas 7-4. South Alabama will play twice tomorrow and wrap up the tournament with 4 games under its belt. Can anybody get this one? No, it drops in foul ground. Peterson and Clark and Rudity all giving chase. The 0-2 pitch, low and away.
Jags are going to start the season away from home. 22 games away from home before they play there.
That's unusual for a Deep South team.
4 tournaments and a midweek contest at Florida State.
They've got Missouri upcoming. They've got Ohio State. They've got Liberty. Florida State, as you mentioned. They've got Mississippi State. They play Virginia. They play Tennessee. The 1-2 pitch. Dribbled foul. Yvette, right now, the sky here in Baton Rouge is just completely clear. Magnificent temperatures, and this is the best opening day anybody in this ballpark can remember. Wolfenden goes down on strikes, 3 up, 3 down. 6 in a row, retired now by Sunseri. 2-0 LSU leads on a 2-out, 2-run home run by Georgia Clark in the first inning. Coffey and Rudity and Cummins are scheduled to hit for LSU. Beth Torina now in her 11th season here in Baton Rouge. 416 victories, nearly a 700 winning percentage. Former head coach at Florida International. And a fine pitcher in her own right. And she has taken this program to some very, very impressive heights.
4 Women's College World Series. She's one of the most impressive young coaches out there. Tremendous pitch caller.
That's a nice off-speed delivery from Hewen.
And Hewen needs to throw a bunch more of those.
Coffey played some second base last year for the Tigers in a part-time role. She's been given the opportunity to win a full-time spot at third base.
Yep, we saw Amanda Doyle there for so long, and wow, that outside pitch looks awfully close, doesn't it?
This has been a relatively tight strike zone so far.
It's 3 pitches now that I thought were strikes, and of course what I think doesn't matter, does it?
It hasn't for a long time.
In my mind it does.
Coffey beats that play with some speed and flash and dash down the first base line.
She can run, and I can remember Beth Torina saying last year they could never get her out in practice, in scrimmages.
One bounce.
That's all she needs is that big bounce.
Normally, if it hits the ground twice, you've got a pretty good chance. That was a 1 bouncer, and it was a high bounce, and Coffey was able to just nip the throw at first base.
It was a high, slow bounce, so just perfect for someone with Coffey speed. Shows a good bluff at first.
Rudity at the plate. Mackenzie Rudity, a right fielder.
We have heard some outstanding things about Rudity.
From Franklin, North Carolina.
First North Carolina player ever for Beth Torina. First one she's ever recruited, and now playing for her.
And that's a nice trivia note right there.
And you know, I don't think I had a North Carolina player ever. Well, they really like the way she swings a bat.
She has played as an opposite field hitter by the center fielder and the left fielder. There is a big gap between the center fielder, Brasher, and the right fielder, Ortiz.
Well, they're definitely staying away from her. It's been screwball, screwball.
Cummins is on deck. Two 0 LSU. Bottom of the second inning here on opening day. And that's a strike under the hands on the inside part of the plate. Beth Torina, as has been her custom, last night polled every person on her team and said, if you were the head coach, who would you have in the starting lineup? I think that's a wonderful idea, Yvette. We talked about it last year.
Very cool.
And from what I can gather unofficially, there were many LSU players, in fact, the majority of them, who put the freshmen in the starting lineup, that they had made that much of an impression in a short period of time.
Well, I've come to a few practices, and the players are telling me about this young lady.
This is nubbed off the end of the bat and gobbled up by Cronin for the out at first base. Kennedy Cronin over to Abby Allen.
And South Al followed their scouting report there and executed perfectly. Just fed her nothing but outside pitches.
South Alabama has a great acronym name, of course, USA.
And red, white, and blue colors.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hardly beat that.
And a brand new football facility over there, which is quite brilliant. Upstairs to Cummins.
See that rise ball at 58 miles an hour, but the problem is it started out of the strike zone, so Cummins could identify that as a ball pretty quick.
Savannah Stewart is on deck. Coffey would score on just about any kind of a base hit from second base. And she is forcing that South Alabama infield to go in motion because she's taking a legitimate dash away from second on each pitch.
Kind of was like a bunt for a hit or trying to protect and steal third.
Here's the offering. And that's pulled into the net foul on the left side.
And as you talked about, Jags are trying to really come inside and handcuff the Tigers with that inside pitch.
2-1.
South Alabama got 10 hits against Central Arkansas pitching earlier today. LSU does not have a lot of right-handed batters in the lineup.
It's a lefty-flavored hitting team for sure.
This is one of them, of course, but a lot of southpaw swingers for the Tigers. Shelby Sunseri and Georgia Clark are the only other two right-handed batters, in addition to Morgan Cummins, in the lineup right now. 3-2 pitch, drifts low and away. That was close again, but the open base is now occupied by Cummins. So Coffey is in front of her at second base, one out, Cummins at first. And here's the designated player, Savannah Stewart, but first we're going to have a conference in the circle. Yvette, you were noticing the color of the umpires' shirts, which is something we've not seen today. That's only a little bit darker than the color of the sky today.
It's a teal color. It's different. Isn't it usually dark blue, navy?
Or almost a powder blue we've seen. We've seen red before. What you don't want, the color doesn't really matter, of course. What you don't want is somebody to show up in blue, somebody else to show up in black, and somebody else to show up in red.
Hope not.
The foul lines here are 200 feet from the plate. The power alleys are 210 feet away, and center field is 220. That's about 10 feet or so deeper than it has to be by regulation. 2,671 very comfortable, great sightline seats.
Not a bad seat in the house.
In this ballpark.
Tigers are waiting for Stewart to have the year she had as a freshman. She was phenomenal as a freshman. And
she had some stretches of that she was almost impossible to retire or shut out during a game. And of course, Sunseri was in that category as well for a while. So far, there have only been 1 of 9 first pitch strikes.
Yeah, Hewen she's having control problems, to say the least.
And less than 50% of her deliveries against LSU have been strikes.
The pitches are so out of the zone that she can't even get the Tigers to swing at bad pitches. She's behind now, 3-0.
Briggs is on deck. Coffey had an infield hit. Rudity grounded out to the shortstop. Cummins has walked, and there's a 4-pitch pass to designated player Savannah Stewart.
I think that the bullpen would be getting a little active now for the Jaguars.
Center fielder, number 88, Sierra Briggs.
Well, here's spinnerbait Briggs.
Coach Sharina describes her as relentless.
She's got that big number she likes, being that West Coast player, 88.
Yep, you see that with the West Coast teams. They have those football numbers.
That would be a wide receiver.
Misses again. That's 5 straight balls.
Actually, 6 straight. She walked Cummins too, so yeah, Hewen is having some problems right now throwing strikes, and there's another one elevated. And the close pitches she has delivered have not gone her way.
Yeah, she can't right now. She can't throw the rise ball if she's behind, because it's a ball every time. Trying to find a pitch that she can throw for a strike.
The bases are loaded, and that one bears inside. That's at least 8 in a row out of the strike zone. There's a ball down the middle. Briggs looking at it from the get-go. Taylor Pleasance is on deck. The Tigers have the makings of a big inning right here.
They could bust it wide open.
Upstairs, a patient at bat for Briggs. That's the 3rd consecutive walk, so an infield hit, an infield out, and then 3 consecutive walks have provided a run for LSU, and the bases are loaded for Taylor Pleasance.
And I think we're going to have a change. Here we go.
17, Taylor Pleasant.
We indeed will have a pitching change. Allie Hewen, who started the first game and was very effective, cannot get out of the 2nd inning against LSU. We'll be back in a moment with more. The Tigers lead it by a 3-0 count early over South Alabama, day 1 of the 2022 season. Right-hander Jenna Hardy comes out of the bullpen first for South Alabama against LSU. She had 19 appearances a year ago, an ERA of 4 1/3, 58 in the third inning. She struck out 43. She walked 22. And she inherits 3 batters on base and one of the best hitters in the country at the plate.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've got to face Taylor Pleasance here, and she starts off with the ball. Her go-to pitch is rise. She'll throw a curve, a change, a screw. Of course, to get to a rise, you got to throw strikes.
Nobody has been able to throw strikes here over the last 4 batters.
Yep, or make it move through the zone. But the pitches, as I said earlier, aren't even close enough to fool the hitters into thinking it's a strike. So kind of way out of the zone.
This is lofted to shallow center field. It's gobbled up by Brasher. Nobody is tagging. So Pleasance flies to center. The runners hold their bases. There are now 2 outs. Mackenzie Brasher was able to get to that with a quick dash toward the infield. There's Allie Hewen, an inning and a third, couple of hits, 3 runs, walked 4. That was the problem. Didn't strike out anybody after a very nice start against Central Arkansas earlier today. Well, Sunseri has a chance here to drive in plenty of teammates. The bases remain loaded. That is a little bit elevated.
And we said it time and time again in 2019, Sunseri was probably in the top 2 or 3 two-way players in the country. She was that good.
Especially the first month of the season, it was an incredible outburst by her. Hardy gets that one down a little bit and clips the upper part of the strike zone.
She would certainly like to bust this game wide open for herself on the mound.
Shelby Sunseri. 1 ball, 2 strikes. If South Alabama is able to escape with only 1 run scored here in the second, that's a victory for the visiting ball club.
Big time, and one that will drive Beth Torina a little nuts because you have every opportunity for a huge inning. Came in with that screwball, and again, that pitch looked good. And
Becky Clark, who does not complain much.
Not happy.
She is very upset over there. Took a few steps out of the dugout.
But he has not called anything on that corner yet.
The 2-2 pitch. Grounded to the third baseman. She gets down on one knee, gobbles it up, and Keel steps on the bag for the force. And LSU gets 1 run out of it. Becky Clark is having something to say with the plate umpire, but a 3-0 lead for LSU as we go to the third on opening day. Then she walked Pepper Nichols to open the game. Here's Meredith Keel. It's kind of interesting, one of your best hitters is down in the 8 hole.
We featured her, and she hit there in the opening game also.
Maybe they use her as a second cleanup batter.
That'll be tough. Nice play.
Peterson grabbed the short hop on the backhanded side and turned it into an out. That will look routine in the paper tomorrow, but that was anything but routine.
I was just about to say, you think that's a routine ground ball? No way. She comes and gets it on that short hop. Otherwise, it eats her up and or the slapper beats it out.
2 things you have to do, and it's high risk, but you've got to charge that ball.
It's all or nothing play.
And then you've got to keep that glove steady with balance, reaching on the short hop backhanded side.
But you're right. People will think that was a routine play. No way.
Then you've got to throw it accurately to first base with your momentum going the other way.
As I said, the scouting report on her was she was a tremendous defensive ball player.
Mackenzie Brasher at the plate. She was 1 for 3 in the first game. Nobody has reached base for South Alabama since the opening walk to the leadoff batter, Pepper Nichols. And there's been only 1 fly ball out to the outfield since then. Sunseri has thrown 6 first pitch strikes.
She throws that heavy drop ball, as you can see.
Safe at first base. Good speed by Brasher.
Only because of she's a lefty and she can run, but did you see the arm angle from Pleasance there? She did everything she could to try and make that play.
Alabama, left fielder, number 7, Pepper Nichols.
The arm angle, and we've talked about it ever since we saw Taylor Pleasance step out to defend at shortstop. But she does things that very few collegiate infielders can do, not only by launching with accuracy to a base, but the arm angle and the very difficult and awkward for most people throwing motion. She makes it look easy sometimes, and it's so hard.
She's got all the arm angles down. But that was a base hit all the way. And here's another one.
Off of Coffee, and it rolls out to center field. There won't be a play anywhere.
Good job by Briggs there. That's kind of a tick in my burrow there. When a center fielder will throw the ball to third when there's no play, you'll see Briggs throw to the correct base so that the trailing runner doesn't advance to second.
Victoria Ortiz.
So here's Victoria Ortiz. Back-to-back infield hits have put runners perched at third and first.
Heads up base running.
Ortiz is first pitch swinging. She flied deep to right center field last time. A nice running catch was made by Rudity.
She made great contact.
Last year, a .277 hitter. She swatted 4 out of the yard.
Of a first and third situation here, might Becky Clark just try and steal here and get 2 runners into scoring position.
The middle infielders are back. They are deep. Both base hits for South Alabama coming on the infield and consecutively in this inning. The 0-2. Runner on the move, throw down. Got her! Cummins unloads a laser down to the shortstop covering. And Pepper Nichols is out on a very close play. Watch Cummins, she had to double clutch. Very close, but out at second base. And we move on. The shutout is preserved. LSU a year ago was 35-22, 2 games over 500 in the SEC. LSU played absolutely the toughest, the most difficult NCAA strength of schedule in the country last year. There was no doubt about it.
Ever. Toughest schedule ever.
Georgia Clark, who homered last time, lifts this one up the elevator shaft, and it is corralled in left field by Pepper Nichols.
Yeah, Beth Torina said maybe that schedule was a little, in hindsight, was a little bit too much for a young team. They never got a chance to breathe, but really feels like it should pay some dividends this year, as the team is not very old, but feels a little bit older than they are because of what they've been through.
I think that's well
still
said.
A young team.
As you mentioned earlier, Sunseri is the only senior.
Still a young team. You know, it's so, with the COVID and the extra years, it's kind of, the rosters, you know, read really funny because it's red shirt this, red shirt that. They all got a year back.
Hardy finds the strike zone with that pitch to Allie Newland. Allie hit 200 a year ago. She started 14 games. She played in 25. She had 40 at-bats with 8 hits. Cronin delivers over to first base for the second out.
When South Al is delivering, getting ahead, they're getting a lot of good ground ball outs.
This brings up Danica Coffey. Had an infield hit and scored in the second. The Tigers left the bases loaded in that inning. Coffey had 21 hits a year ago. She made 31 starts. She is looking for her first collegiate home run. That's a nice pitch to level the count at 1. That is a foul ball by a stride on the left side. You know, Yvette, when you look at Coffey's numbers as a part-time player a year ago, one of the interesting things to me is that she didn't strike out much, but she walked only 3 times the whole year. So she's not somebody, at least after one season, who has a history of coaxing walks from the opposing pitcher. She gets contact like she just did. That's hit pretty well out to left and gobbled up by Nichols. The first 3 up, 3 down inning for LSU. It's the Tigers leading over South Alabama 3-0 as we go to the 4th on a gorgeous day in Baton Rouge. LSU picked up a couple of runs in the first on a Georgia Clark home run and then worked for another one in the second. 3-0 Tigers. There are the palm trees out in left field that extend all the way to center. There was some real concern over those trees a year ago with a lot of ice and snow, and for a while of it did not look like a few of them would make it, but they may have been clipped back a bit, but they look like they're ready to poised to enjoy 2022.
Grounds crew was really proactive this year. I came out here and they were all wrapped because we've had some cold weather here. It looks like they're going to do just fine.
Other than in Florida, I don't know of any other ballparks in the country that have an array of palm trees like
Arizona.
this. I think it really adds some character to the ballpark.
Arizona, kind of copied it from Arizona State. I love the look of the palms in the background.
Coffey turns that into an out from third base. I would venture to say, though, and I think this is pretty safe, this is the only ballpark in the country with a combination of palm trees and cypress trees.
And crepe myrtles and Bradford pears, but no stately oaks.
There's plenty of oak trees on the rest of the campus.
Yeah,
that go back a couple of hundred years.
In the alma mater. Can't really put giant oak trees on that berm, though.
Kennedy Cronin grounded out to third last time.
Ooh, that was a pretty pitch. That's the best changeup we've seen from Sincera yet. You'll see that change of speed, and she'll throw it like a little curveball.
And on the knees on the outside corner as well. Pleasance fires it over to first base where Georgia Clark is waiting. 2 ground ball outs to the left side.
And that left side of the field is about to start really battling the sun in their eyes as it sets to the west. See everybody on the left side now is trying to shade their eyes.
Here's Cordova. And Sunseri feeds her a strike. College softball traditionally starts 1 week ahead of college baseball. LSU's Tigers, ranked in the top 10 to open the season, will be taking on Maine next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
New regime.
And a series of full game type scrimmages coming up this weekend for the LSU baseball team. Well, Dallas Cordova out of Orlando, Florida. Popped up to Peterson last time at second base. A call, third strike, gets a piece of the outside edge at the waist. And a 3-up, 3-down inning. It's the second strikeout for Sunseri. The Tigers lead the Jaguars 3-0 halfway through. Well, other than the Super Regionals and the College World Series, what's upcoming in the St. Petersburg Clearwater Elite Invitational? Look at this field. 10 ranked teams out of 16 participating. LSU will be part of that.
A who's who of college softball.
Oh, indeed. And this is LSU's schedule. Oklahoma State, Washington, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Texas Tech. You got to grow up in a hurry when you go there.
That's softball for you. We bring it on early. And if you're going to travel, you might as well travel and play teams like that.
Rudity at the plate for LSU. In her first collegiate at bat, she grounded out to the shortstop. She takes a full swing and tips it back into the mitt of the catcher. Jenna Hardy has done a nice job in relief.
She has.
For South Alabama.
And she looks effortless. Watch her pitch.
She has faced 5 batters and none have reached. And she divides the plate with that pitch. Cummins and Stewart will follow. We play in the bottom of the 4th.
Got her with that screwball that's just tailing out. That angle pitch.
That is the first strikeout for South Alabama pitching today.
Worked ahead, and then she gets to throw this and have Rudity chase that pitch that's not a strike.
6 batters have faced Hardy, and 6 have gone back to the dugout. Cummins walked last time, and she rams the first pitch into left field for a clean, loud base hit.
Cummins having a good day so far. Throws that base runner out a while ago to blow up a big inning for South Alabama, and has been on base twice now. Looks like we'll get a pinch runner.
So Cummins most likely will return to the game, and we will have a runner for her at first base. This is Madeline Giglio. Last name is spelled Giglio, pronounced Giglio.
Freshman from Metairie, Louisiana, right down the road. She might be the new Akaya Times, about the same stature, 5'3".
Two in the first for the Tigers on a 2-run home run by Clark with 2 outs. This is dumped into left field for a base hit. And Savannah Stewart, along with Cummins, in the 8 and 9 positions, have both walked and both singled.
Stewart with that great inside out swing, sprays that ball to left field, takes that outside pitch and goes with it.
Here's the top of the order in Briggs. She's got an RBI opportunity with 2 teammates aboard. Briggs has walked with the bases loaded and flied to left field to open the game for LSU. No runs, 2 hits for South Alabama. 3 runs, 4 hits for LSU. And a quick strike poured in by Jenna Hardy.
Hardy is filling up the strike zone, which should allow her Jaguars to play better defense behind her.
After Rudity struck out, Cummins and Stewart have responded with liners to left for base hits. That is bunted out at first, but the runners advance, a sacrifice by Briggs. Watch Keel gobble this bunt from third base. She is on it in a hurry.
Nice defensive play. I thought maybe she might have had a base hit there, but played perfectly defensively.
So Helio is now at third and Stewart at second. 2 outs. And Taylor Pleasance comes up. Twice she has flied to center. Pleasance was the first batter that Hardy faced after the Tigers subdued the starter, Allie Hewen.
A rare change up there.
A base hit would most likely score a couple of Tigers. That's a good pitch. Hardy's got those sunglasses on. She also wears the protective mask over her face.
So many of the pitchers do that now. They grew up that way, playing travel ball, high school ball.
I don't blame them one bit.
Nothing soft about that ball.
The 1-2 pitch. Off speed and Pleasance out in front of it. Hardy really with a nice pitch sequence to one of the best hitters in the SEC.
Best changeup we've seen all day long, and pulled it out at the right time.
So Pleasance is fooled by this pitch. The Tigers leave a pair in scoring position, but carry a 3-0 lead into the 5th inning against South Alabama. LSU leads South Alabama. This is the opening game for the Tigers, game number 2 in this season for South Alabama. It beat Central Arkansas earlier today. There's been an addition to Tiger Park. This is a new segment of netting, which essentially starts at the beginning of the dugouts on both sides of the field and extends all the way down to the ends of the dugout, and that offers more fan protection to some of those wicked line drive foul balls.
That and for people not paying attention. But no, really, it's those balls get up there pretty quick.
It also reduces the opportunity for souvenirs.
True.
Shelby Sunseri still in the circle for the Tigers. She has struck out 3. She has walked 1, and that was the opening batter of the game.
Only given up 2 hits, but has fallen behind on this hitter. 3-0 count and swinging.
That's interesting, trailing 3-0.
3-0. Not enough netting to protect that coach, though. The ball went in the dugout, got the pitching coach, I think. Everybody's okay, though. And really, this these dugouts are some of the more safer ones in college softball.
Peterson retreats, calls for it, and makes the catch a couple of steps on the edge of the outfield grass. So Wolfenden is retired.
And coming back from a 3-0 count. Good job by the senior.
Second baseman, number 23, Belle Wolfenden.
Actually, that was Abby Allen. Scoreboard was a bit ahead of itself. This is Wolfenden.
Big hop to coffee. She'll take that all day long.
You bet. And now Meredith Keel will come to the plate.
Now batting, third baseman, number 0, Meredith Keel.
That's a pretty good lift pitch for Sunseri. She's kind of been streaky a bit. She walked the first batter. Then she retired 7 in a row.
She can throw any pitch, every pitch, in all zones.
9 pitches get it done on 3 infield outs here in the 5th, and another nice play by Peterson at second base.
Showing some range.
We move forward. LSU out in front, 3-0 over South Alabama. Well, off in the distance as we focus our long lenses through the trees, you get a look at the tallest state capitol building in the country. That is 460 feet from ground level to the tip of the spire, and certainly an historic building in downtown Baton Rouge, not far from the Mississippi River. Jenna Hardy has done a really nice job in relief. Only allowed 2 hits, no runs. Didn't walk anybody. Has struck out a couple. A rip and
what
a
a play.
catch at shortstop. How about that?
Can't hit it any better, can't play it any better.
Kennedy Cronin going to the top rung of the ladder and then leaping from there to snare it in the webbing of her glove.
That's a da-na-na play.
This is a great shot we give you from third base. Full extension, full leap.
And that ball was smoked.
Yes, it was. It left a contrail from the plate out to the shortstop.
And it was tailing.
Georgia Clark takes a strike.
Really nice defensive plays during this game.
Clark's first at bat this season resulted in a 2-run home run. With her mother looking on from Houston. They are from Houston. Her mother's here. One pitch to the junior infielder. Just off the mark. That's a good place to miss, though.
Absolutely.
Newland is on deck. LSU has had some chances with a timely base hit here or there to really put some distance between itself and South Alabama.
And they had some hitters up that should have been able to do it.
Let's go back and look at this swing in the first inning. High and deep over the center field wall with Sunseri aboard, who had walked preceding that with 2 outs.
And that's definitely a pitch she'd like to have back because that ball was right over the plate.
This time Cronin cannot make the pickup, moving to her left.
Ball went right underneath her glove. Let's see what they score this.
That is going to go as an infield hit. Yvette, there has been an overrule now by the official score, so that's going to be an error on the shortstop.
Well, after the other play, you would think that that is probably the correct ruling.
Pitch runner for the Tigers, now at first base, number 42, KK Madry.
KK Madry, M-A-D-R-E-Y, a freshman,
At the plate,
is now running at first base.
44, Allie Newland.
And one of her teammates described KK as, you think Andrews was fast? Wait till you see KK.
She easily steals second base.
Good pitch to steal on that ball, kind of bounced. That's what she's in there for.
LSU has not fared well with runners in scoring position today. The Tigers are 0 for 3. This is hit deep. Nichols is back. She's near the dirt. She makes the catch, having to battle the sunshine out there. And Madry tags and alertly hustles over to third.
Good job by Madry. She was tagging all along because in reality, if she drops that ball, it doesn't make the play, she's going to score from second. She's that fast.
So a runner at third with 2 outs, and here is Coffey after the fly ball deep to left by Newland. Coffey has an infield hit, and she also has lined out to the left fielder. She is first pitch swinging, and that is out of play in the net on the left side. The Tigers and Illinois out of the Big Ten will do battle in the second game. We will have it for you right here on the SEC ESPN network. In fact, every game of the tournament involving LSU will be made available to you. So tell a friend about it. The SEC ESPN network. Tomorrow and Sunday.
Wall-to-wall softball all weekend.
LSU will play 5 games by the time it's over. 2 today, 2 tomorrow, and 1.
2 Sunday.
2 Sunday. 6 games. Wow. South Alabama will play 4, and the other teams, I think, play 5. Two balls, 2 strikes to Danica Coffey. One of 6 left-handed batters for LSU in the lineup today. Illinois got a shutout victory over Central Arkansas, although it was not a rule-shortened game. It was 9-0 the final. So Illinois won its first game against Central Arkansas by a 9-0 count, but it took 7 innings to do it.
If Hardy gets out of this jam, she'll have pitched a gem so far.
Yeah, she's been really good in relief of Allie Hewitt.
Moved the ball around, changed speeds, just threw an awesome pitch up to Pleasance to get out of that huge jam.
Sunseria's lined out to the shortstop, who made a leaping catch. Clark reached on a ground ball error by the shortstop. Madry stole second base as a pinch runner. This is the 8th pitch coming to Coffey, and there will be a 9th.
Definitely staying outside to these lefties, throwing screwball after screwball.
If you've got command of it against left-handed batters, it can be a devastating pitch. You like to call it kryptonite, don't you?
Yep. Came back inside.
And the tag made by the first baseman, Abby Allen. So once again, Jenna Hardy wiggles out of a hot spot. She has preserved her shutout work since coming on in the second inning. It's still 3-0 LSU. Welcome back, everyone, with Hall of Fame coach Yvette Girard, who took 5 teams to the College World Series. I'm Lynn Rollins. And Yvette, we play here in Game 1 for LSU. The opening day of the 2022 college softball season. Please allow me a note of personal privilege here. What an honor and what a great time that I have had with you over these last several years as we have the privilege of sharing LSU and Southeastern Conference softball and other sports to people all across the world on the SEC ESPN networks. It's just magnificent to be by your side.
It has been so much fun, and it's fun every time we come out here. And to our listeners, just stay tuned because you'll learn so much more than just softball.
Right now, the Tigers are protecting a 3-0 lead. Mackenzie Brasher at the bottom of the order has had an infield hit. Sunseri working on a 2-hit shutout, and both of those base hits were on the infield in the third inning. Other than that, she has been perfect with the exception of a leadoff walk to Nichols.
Second inning in a row here that she starts off 3-0. She got out of the last one. Let's see what happens here.
There's a strike. LSU 2 years ago was just sensational in the circle. Last year, somewhat of a drop-off, and mainly because Control sort of evaded a couple of the LSU starters last year, and it was inexplicable, but certainly Beth Torino wants to reduce the number of walks out of her pitching staff this year.
Well, she's really happy with her staff so far. She expects big things out of them. She thinks Sunseri's as good as ever, maybe a little better. She thinks that Kilponen will be dynamite. Thinks the newbie, Chafin, will be very, very good. So good things to look forward to.
And she's looking for a rebound from Wickersham as well.
Wickersham.
Well, for the second straight inning, Sunseri recovers from a 3-0 count to get the out.
She throws that heavy drop ball to get that last pitch for a strike and a strikeout.
That ball was kind of drifting a little bit away from the batter as well.
Well,
here's Caroline Nichols. She prefers to be called Pepper. She's been good at the top of the order. A walk, a stolen base, and an infield hit, although she was thrown out stealing to end the inning in the third with a teammate at third base. Peterson makes a quick play.
She's smooth. Boy, up the middle, the Tigers got something defensively.
That's not smooth. That's smooth.
Silky smooth.
That's smooth with a lot of move.
Now to play right fielder, number 34, Victoria Ortiz.
Here's Ortiz, who is 0 for 2. Two outs, nobody on base. South Alabama batting in the 6th. We are delighted, absolutely thrilled to be coming your way on a gorgeous day today. This is 180 degrees opposite of what it was a year ago on opening day in February for LSU in 2021.
Well, we've just had some gorgeous weather here. You know, it's notoriously terrible February in Louisiana. Not today. Or tomorrow. Sunday's going to be good also. Might just be a little nippy. She offered.
Nothing but ciphers on the scoreboard in the South Alabama column. LSU protecting a 3-0 lead. Sunseri working on a 2-hit shutout.
She just goes to work. She pitches quickly, doesn't allow her defense to just get bored.
And Ortiz goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Sunseri. The shutout is preserved through 6, 3-0 LSU over South. The Tigers got 2 in the first on a home run by Georgia Clark. They added another one in the second. They've made it stand up 3-0 LSU. Let's look at how folks are rating SEC teams in preseason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the top 20, including Alabama, picked to win the SEC, and loaded. A lot of teams across the conference are loaded.
And can you imagine when Texas and Oklahoma join? You know, coaches have stated that it might be easier to get to the College World Series than win the SEC. And that's not an easy battle.
I don't think that's an overstatement, do you?
You're in a regional atmosphere every SEC weekend.
There's the first collegiate hit for the right fielder. And here's Cummins. Morgan has walked and singled.
He's had a good day so far.
And so has Stewart behind her. The same combination. We started this game in full sunshine. We'll be playing the second game in darkness.
Temperatures will drop a little, but no freezing weather.
No runs, 2 hits, and an infield error for South Alabama. 3 runs, 5 hits, no bobbles for LSU. Game 1 of 56 during the regular season for the Tigers. Jenna Hardy has been really good in relief.
She has. Came into some tough situations, pitched herself out of it. Came up with big pitches at big opportunities.
Runner is on the move, and Smith picked a perfect pitch on which to run.
Changeup. Don't know if Bethtarina's picking those pitches up, but what she's a master of. Here's another RBI opportunity for Tiger hitters.
LSU is 0 for 5 today with runners in scoring position.
And that's kind of been their bugaboo. Oh, gosh.
That hit Smith in the base path. She is out. Give the put out to the shortstop, who was the closest to the play. Smith stopped, then restarted, and that ball made contact with her left leg.
Yeah, the ball's in front of you. That just can't happen.
So Cummins reached on the fielder's choice. And here is Savannah Stewart. LSU scored 2 in the first, got 1 in the second. Nobody has reached the plate for either side since then. Stewart runs up on it and misses.
It's got just enough tail on that screwball.
That's fouled off the handle of the bat. One out, a runner at first base. LSU trying to get some insurance, trying to add to a 3-0 lead. The lights have been turned on here as we approach the gloaming in Baton Rouge.
And no, you're not in Ireland.
There's enough green in the outfield grass, though, to make you think you are. Stewart flies to center field. Brasher squeezes it out there. And this will bring on spinnerbait, Sierra Briggs.
Batting for the Tigers.
She is 0 for 1. She flied to left field in the first, walked with the bases loaded in the second, and had a sacrifice bunt in the fourth. Right.
You know, Hardy is just effortless. The windup, the delivery.
Well, she has matched Shelby Sunseri for LSU. LSU and the Fighting Illini. Next up. That game will be about 35 minutes or so following the conclusion of this one. Stay tuned between games. Yvette will be entertaining with her full selection of song and dance. There's another leaping catch by Cronin, the shortstop. Well, that ends the inning, and we go to the seventh. 3-0. Welcome back, everyone. The Tigers are 3 outs away from an opening day victory against South Alabama, carrying a 3-0 lead into the top of the 7th inning. With Yvette Gerard, I'm Len Rollins, and it appears we have a new right fielder. This is Morgan Smith.
Leading off for South Alabama.
I know that Beth Torino wants to play everyone that's on the in the dugout this weekend, and she's going to try all kind of different combinations and give everybody their shot. Very workmanlike effort from Shelby Sunseri today.
She's walked only 1, and that was the opening batter in the game. She has struck out 5. I shorted her last inning and said she had 4, but indeed we have rechecked the scorebook. She has 5 strikeouts. That's hit sharply, knocked down by Coffey, picks it up, unleashes an overthrow at first. The runner cannot advance. And I think they're going to rule an error on the throw.
$1 million play, because that was a nice backhand, but then just launched it in. Really, her last throw when she was warming up before the inning began, it was the same throw.
Cavestad is safe on a throwing error, and this brings on Kennedy Cronin.
And she had plenty of time to make that play because the ball got to her so fast and the runner was not that fast. But it happens.
At bat, shortstop number 19, Kennedy Cronin.
That is the first base runner for South Alabama since the 3rd inning.
Shelby has been Shelby.
Finney is the pinch runner down at first base. Two balls and a strike. Sunseri trying to finish it off. Kennedy Cronin has bounced out twice to the left side. Once to Coffey at third, the other time to Pleasance at short. This one's popped up and out of play straight back.
Came back from 2-0 count.
The count is level at 2 and remains that way.